Hi, this is Asa, and welcome to my audio experience. What are you struggling with? Let's talk about it. Your health, your life. Remember, if the body can get sick, it can also get well. Lifestyle is the medicine, and you all have potential. We all do. I do. You do. And the show's designed to really help you live your potential. At the end of the day, that's what we're here for. Because I believe we all have potential. And I believe we're all really, really short of our potential. And health is just a vehicle for you to get there. Because in life, you have goals. And 99% of people have goals. If you ask them, they'll tell you, yeah, I want this. I'd like to do this. I'd like to be this. I'd like to do this. But only 1% really execute. And execution is the key to achieving your goals. If you look at the top percentage of income earners in the world, and you will find people that execute, and they push on their, not only do they talk about their goals, they do their goals. So execution and activity of pushing and really reaching for what you've set out to do, that's how you win. That is the key, my friend. And so when it comes to anything like health, like once you start understanding that, then when you need to lose 30 pounds, or if you have high blood pressure, or if you have diabetes, or if you have some kind of injury, or if you have you've been dealt a bad card of hand of cards, and maybe you feel like you have, and you have some genetic condition that was completely out of your control, then it's time to pull up the bootstraps, and it's time to get your mind right. And this is where you realize that you have potential. You have to realize what your potential is. For me, I'm living already still, even with all I've accomplished, well below my potential. So I have, just like you have, so much more inside of you. And on this show, we want to help you get there. So we use health as a vehicle here. And we're here for you every single day. Send us an email. I can make it part of the show, or can answer in private, whatever you prefer. But we're here for you each and every day. I want to talk about fad diets in just a minute, because diets tend to be the craze right now. Keto is just all over the place. Everybody's keto this, keto that. But I want to get into some fad diets that can influence your conditions and maybe your goals that you're working on. But first, I want to get into the phones. I know you guys have already waiting there. So let's get over to Luke first. Hi, Luke.
Hi. I have a problem with my lips cracking, chapping, and bleeding when the weather changes, and I'm wondering what to do about it. Obviously, there's something going on in my body that's causing that.
Yeah, well, first of all, stress is a big driver. So just so you know, if you're not getting the greens that your body needs, so beans, greens, and berries are your three basics that you need every day. And if you're eating those on a regular basis every single day, then you're cutting back your chances of all major health conditions greatly. Beans, greens, and berries. The other thing you want to look at, and this is really important too, is with the chapped lips or the cracking of the lips like that, you've probably got an omega-3 fatty acid deficiency. And omega-3s are really important. So getting tested on that is super important too. You have to get tested. Like if you're not getting tested every 4 months, remember the cells turn over every 90 to 120 days. So if you're not getting tested on the regular, then you're really missing out. People think, well, I go to my doctor for a 1-year physical and they tell me everything's okay. Well, guess what? You're checking all the basic numbers in the medical lab testing. You're not even doing the nutritional levels of where things are. Like when's the last time you saw omega-3 on your blood test? Like never. So checking those levels are really important. And it's a simple deficiency. A lot of times the cracking can be a vitamin B1 or B2 deficiency, which you're like, okay, B1, B2, never really heard of that. I take a B complex, but maybe it's not really doing anything. That's because I'm not a big B complex fan, by the way. I think typically we need usually get some kind of whole food based food source like greens, which give you all your Bs on a regular basis. But here's the deal. All right. The statistic is, Luke, that 1.5% of Americans eat vegetables on a regular basis. So that kind of kills that. So I would encourage you, if you've got that going on, you look at B1, B2, but get tested. Your omega-3 fats which you find in salmon. You can find it in tuna and mackerel. Those are the top 3 fish. And, cod, of course, and cod liver is where they get the cod liver oil from, which is really great. And, of course, can make a big difference as well. But I would look at that. I would look at those for sure. Because as you build that back up, usually that will go away. But you got to get down to the root cause of it. If not, it'll stay. And yeah, it's probably triggered by the cold weather. But more than anything, you've got to make sure that those deficiencies are balanced. And that's the key. Remember, it's the root cause, not the symptoms. That's just a symptom we're talking about, not the root. Thanks for the call. 888-283-7272. Open phone lines. You can give us a call or go to the website. Go to asarx.com. Send me an email. I can make it part of the show. And if you want to get a copy of my free book, it's my best-selling book that everybody always asks about. And we're giving it away for free. Just cover a little bit of the shipping cost. It's not that much. And then we'll send you the book for free. So I cover the book, you cover the shipping. It's a win-win deal. And a lot of people are really wanting to get it. So we stepped up and we're doing that to get that into people's hands. So you can have a good launch pad to get started with your health and your life. All right, we're talking about fad diets. And of course, diets can be fads, but let me give you a little key and a little secret about diets. They all work. Have you figured that out by now? Because if there was only one diet, there would not be a million of them in the bookstore. And you would not see every diet book every 5 seconds on Instagram about the new diet, the new latest, the keto this, the high, the no sugar this, the high protein this, the 10-day diet, the 16-day diet, the 1-day diet. I mean, you wouldn't see all that, right? So they all work in their own perspective, in perspective ways. I want to talk about some fad diets, though, that could influence your diabetes risk. So before trying to lock into a certain diet, they've done studies in the Nielsen Global Health and Wellness Report. They said that 80% of people in North America reported changing their diet to try to lose weight, while 11% reported using popular diet pills, bars, and shakes to shed the extra pounds. In fact, Boston Medical Center estimates 45 million Americans go on a diet each year, spending about $33 billion on weight loss products annually. That's a small market share, huh? It's amazing. So while most of us pursue those efforts to achieve the attractive waistline, what we decide to nourish our bodies with affects more than just our weight. For the people whose biology and genetics have potentially left them at a greater risk of certain diseases like prediabetes and type 2 diabetes, it's important to be mindful, though, just the popular diet characteristics when picking up are important. So the Ohio State University Wexler Medical Center in Columbus, they said the underlying issue with type 2 diabetes really is insulin resistance. And there's several dietary factors that can increase insulin resistance. And again, we're going to jump into that in just a minute. So diabetes is a big, big issue. There are certain diets that can help, certain ones that aren't the greatest. I'm going to jump into that when we come back. Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to asarx.com and get your free book today.
To find out more, connect with On Call Radio online at InShapeNetwork.com.
Welcome back to the show, 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Open phone lines. And give us a call. We can make it part of the show. And if you want me to answer you in private, I will. And we do this all the time. So if you need a question answered, you just call me, and we'll answer it offline and make it part and not make it part of the show. So a lot of people want that, and we're here to help you as best we can to give you the information that you need to really get to that next level with your health in your life, because you deserve it. And no one can take responsibility, including me, for your health, but you. You have to make that decision. So I want you to know that you have an amazing level of potential, and you have not even scratched the surface of what God's designed you to be. You haven't. You've not scratched the surface. So on this show, we want to help you. We want to equip you. We want to give you the tools that you need to really be able to thrive. Now, I'm talking about fad diets and how they impact diabetes. Diabetes is one of the number one health challenges we're facing globally, not just in America, but globally. And it's a big deal. And we're facing it in a major way. And one of the main reasons that we have this is poor lifestyle choices. Like, diabetes is not genetic. Type 1 has a genetic component to it. But man, type 2 diabetes is all us. It's all you, baby. It is all you. And that's me pointing the finger. Yes. If you have type 2 diabetes, even if you're in a teenager, it's because of the choices the parents put in front of you. That does not sound good, right? You didn't want to hear me say that, did you? I'm a parent too, though, and I take responsibility for my child as well. So here's the deal. When it comes to diabetes, here's the good news. If you lifestyled your way into it, you got diagnosed with it, your child got diagnosed with it, and we're talking about type 2, then many times, and I would say the majority of the time, I would say like pretty much every time, unless you just are lazy, you can lifestyle your way out. So it's about having a strategy. It's about having a plan. It is about making better choices than you made to get diagnosed with it. You got to do the opposite, right? So we're talking about diets that can help. So here's a big one that people talk about quite often with diabetes. It's a diet called the gluten-free diet. And it's to avoid consuming the protein called gluten, which is found in wheat, barley, and rye and other grains. So just think about it like this. Gluten is found in things like bread, pasta, cereal, crackers, all the flour-based foods. Now, they're making a lot of alternatives now that are gluten-free, like pizza crust and pasta and breads. They're made it with rice flour and almond flour, and they're good alternatives. But the possible risk on diabetes, although the data says that an increasing number of Americans without celiac disease are following the gluten-free diet, experts don't really recommend people without celiac or gluten sensitivity try the eating plan. They're not a big fan of it because the fiber-rich portion of the gluten-free grains are stripped away, so you lose all the fiber, and the glycemic index actually goes up. So even though you cut out the gluten with these grains, the impact it has on your sugar actually goes up. So it makes it more higher on the glycemic index. If you don't understand what that means, glycemicindex.com gives you like every food there is and the rank. So if you have diabetes or a blood sugar condition at all, you want to eat foods that are really under about 40 on the glycemic index. You start getting above 40 and these foods start impacting your blood sugar just a little bit too much. So it's better to stay under 40 on that glycemic index scale. Okay. These are the carbohydrates. So grains, beans, vegetables, fruits, all those kind of like sweet potatoes and regular potatoes and brown rice. Those are all listed there. And you'll see the difference between like a regular white potato and a sweet potato. It's drastic. You'll see the difference between white rice and brown rice. Okay. So there is a difference when you have the fiber, and there is a difference between different carbs. And that all plays a role. But the gluten component, I'm still a fan, by the way. This is just research, but I'm still a fan of not using a lot of gluten because I believe that it stimulates so much inflammation. But we're talking about diabetes. So the bottom line is they're saying if you don't have some kind of celiac disease or gluten intolerance, then you should stay clear of it. The keto diet. What about the keto diet? Man, everybody loves keto. And you walk into any like health food store, vitamin shop, wow, it's keto everywhere, right? So the keto diet is significantly limiting carbs in an attempt to force the body to burn fat instead of carbs for energy. And because of the high carbohydrate consumption associated with blood sugar spikes and weight gain, the keto diet has become the popular choice among people with type 2 diabetes, as well as many celebrities, right? You see that? Give me a call, by the way, 888-283-7272. We'll make you part of the show. I'll see you on the phones. Hang tight. I want to get through this. So there's a possible impact on diabetes risk. The benefits of following the keto diet is to prevent and manage diabetes. Cutting out all carbs can be dangerous for the body, even for those people with diabetes. Although it's a common misconception that carbs should be avoided if you have the disease, it's actually true the group still needs these types of foods in their bodies to function properly. We need carbs, okay? Like, I'm not a fan so much of keto, just not. Like, it's got benefits. I get it, some short-term benefits. People argue with me all day long. It's fine. I don't really care. You look at the research, okay? And the body, it really seeks to be in balance. Now, I think we're way out of balance with carbohydrates. I do. but the body needs them. I think we're way out of balance with fats. I don't think we eat enough fat. So I'm a big fan of fats, but you got to have the right kind of fats. It's not just like whatever. It's not just like bacon fat. So you need monounsaturated. You need omega-3s. You need coconut oil for the saturated fat. You need avocados for the monounsaturated. You need macadamia nuts, which are amazing. You need salmon and sardines and mackerel and tuna. We need all those kind of fats, right? So, but the keto diet, they did a study in the American Journal of Nutrition and found that a diet full of fiber-rich whole grains can help reduce the incidence of type 2 diabetes. And though the findings were restricted to a male population, they aligned with what researchers already know. So eating a fiber-rich diet can promote healthy blood glucose levels. Fiber foods include oatmeal, lentils, blueberries, and nuts. And if you're eating a bunch of that, you can't be on the keto plan because it's going to jack your carb load up too much. So by following a keto diet, you may be missing out on a lot of the nutrients like fiber and actually be increasing your risk of type 2 diabetes. Now, I can tell you another thing that goes along with this that I'm not really keen on is your number one killer in America is heart disease. Your number two killer is cancer, right? What do you think the number one form of cancer is? It's lung cancer at about 38%. But the one behind it is colon cancer. And if you're not getting fiber, guess what your risk factor is for colon cancer? Very high. So fiber is a big key. Got to get it. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. 888-283-7272. You're listening to ASA RX. Are you ready to chow? It's time for Keto Chow. When it comes to eating healthy, the Keto Diet has become one of the nutrition leaders in optimizing health, losing unwanted weight, and reaching your health and wellness goals. No extravagant cooking, no long kitchen cleanup, and most importantly, especially for me, it's convenient. Just put quality Keto Chow powder in a bottle, add some heavy whipping cream or your favorite fat, a little water, and boom, shake it up and you're ready to chow. Keto Chow tastes amazing. So make Keto Chow easy for you and your family today with Keto Chow. Let's go chow. Visit Keto Chow online at ketochow.xyz. That's ketochow.xyz.
To find out more, visit the show online, InShapeNetwork.com.
Welcome back to the show, 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Give us a call or go to the website, go to asarx.com. Send us an email. We'll make you part of the show. Love having you here with us each and every day. And if you haven't, if you want to jump in online, so many people now are streaming the show, and we do stream it live. So if you can't catch it in your car or wherever you listen to it on the radio and you want to stream it on your tablet or your phone or whatever, just go to the website. You can stream when we're live. And then if you miss it, then you can catch it on the podcast. You could go to the podcast, look up ASA RX Experience in any of the podcasting outlets, and you'll find it, and you can catch the first radio hour. We always post that there, and you can catch that. So we're here for you each and every day. Give us a call to 888-283-7272. Let's get on the phones and go to Anthony. Hi, Anthony.
I was diagnosed with terminal liver cancer. I have lived past the survival rate, the probiotics, by a couple of years, but I had a couple of questions on things to do for follow-up and other issues I am dealing with.
All right, so with liver cancer, let's jump in. So liver cancer, you without a doubt, if you've got a good team around you, which I hope you do, and I'm assuming you do, it's good to have a good overall plan, and conventional medical treatment for that is important. Now, the good news is about liver is it's pretty resilient organ, and it regenerates really well. So yes, it can be scary. Yes, I know that that's easier said than dealt with. Like, I get all that, right? But I'm just letting you know, to be encouraged, that there's so much you can do, right? There's a lot you can do. So stay encouraged in that, but no matter what kind of medical treatment you go with, no matter what level they're wanting to go, I would get multiple opinions. I'd get at least 3 from totally different camps. And then go with what you feel like is the best, okay? And people always ask me, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? And you just got to, you really need to do your research and do what's best for you. And I really believe that. Because when you get down to the big C, there's so many different options. You got to make the best choice for you. Okay. Now, the other thing is, don't do anything. I will be adamant about this. Like, if you're going to do any kind of treatment, that's fine, great. But make sure someone is helping you with a really solid nutritional and lifestyle plan while you're going through that treatment. Because if you do chemo and radiation, what is that designed to do? That's designed to kill all the cells, right? But guess what? It's going to kill the good and the bad, which is why people get so tired, exhausted, and fatigued. And they actually can get sicker during the treatment. So you've got to have a shield and a sword to be able to fight. And it's okay to go to battle, but you better have some weapons. And cancer is a fight. Every time it's a fight. So I would encourage you, get somebody, whoever, that can walk you through a physician, doctor guided, provider guided nutritional plan, lifestyle plan. Someone has to help you do it. Okay. Like no matter who you got to have somebody on your team that can walk with you in that. That's a big one, man. I encourage you for that. Get a copy of my book. It's free. Go to the website. We're giving it away for free. Just cover the shipping. And you can easily make that a part of your arsenal. Take it to your doctor, show it to him, say, hey, this guy's got some things to say. And it should be, but here's the biggest thing. Your attitude, your outlook, your mindset is vital here. Like, Anthony, I'm serious, man. The way you think, you give me somebody with a really bad diagnosis that has an amazing attitude, I'm going to show you somebody that lives 10 years longer. You show me somebody that throws in the towel, negative attitude, every day is negative ninny, I'll show you somebody that dies in less than a year. Like, it is that significant. So get your head right. Mindset is everything, right? You've got a potential and you want to live your potential. And the way to live your potential always starts with the way that you think first. It always starts with your mindset first. It always starts with the way you see things first. That's the key. Okay. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Give us a call. We'll make you part of the show. Or if you want me to answer in private, you can do that too. You can call us or send me an email. Just go to the website, asarx.com. You can find a place. It's right there. And it says, ask me a question. You can send me a question and we'll answer in private if you want me to. Or we can make it part of the show. You let me know how you want me to do that and I'll take care of it. We are here for you. All right. Talking about diets, I've kind of been in this rant about eating strategies. Now, mine in my book and what we teach in all of our doctor-guided personalized nutrition plans is the anti-inflammatory diet. So we go for balance depending on your goals because sometimes people need the ratios of what we call macro ratios to be a little bit different. But for the most part, we like to keep it balanced. So equal amounts of lean protein sources like chicken, fish, beef, or eggs, low glycemic carbohydrates in the form of fruits and vegetables, and then healthy fats, almonds, walnuts, cashews, avocados, the whole deal. Like we do our best to keep everything balanced. So that's the key. There's a craze right now, and I'm not an anti, like a non-fan of this at all. I'm actually a pretty big fan of what's called the Paleo Diet. And the Paleo Diet, I think, is pretty solid. A little bit too much meat. I would hit more on the fish and eggs, I think. That's just my personal opinion. But followers of the Paleo Diet stay with the food groups that they call our ancestors, like nuts and seeds and fruits and vegetables and meats. So the diet aims to cut out refined sugars, alcohol, and other called frankenfoods. So the foods that you've been altered from the original state, so if it's not real food straight from the ground, if it's been altered, played around with by man, woman, whoever, then if they've been altered, then you don't eat it. So the Paleo Diet is very high in saturated fat, which could promote insulin resistance, they said. So according to a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, consumption of foods like full-fat cheese and butter could potentially lead to a higher risk of type 2 diabetes. They also said that eliminating major food groups like grains or dairy could also increase your risk of diabetes, and it can lead to the consumption of excess calories from another calorie-dense food source. So you could be missing out. And fiber, of course, is extremely important, but you can get plenty of that with the vegetables and the nuts, no doubt. So any diet that cuts out major food groups should be discussed with your doctor or dietitian, or I totally agree with that. Like without a doubt, you have to have somebody that can really keep an eye on everything. So by doing that, that's going to be your main deal. So don't cut out total food groups. I'm not a huge fan of cutting everything out because I think there's benefits. Like for dairy, for example, I'm not a big fan of regular dairy. I like organic dairy better, but I'm not against dairy. And I think that cheeses like sheep cheese and goat cheese, they've got amazing properties, probiotics, really good for the gut. And they're super helpful, super beneficial. So let's look at a couple things. Let's talk about the best diets for diabetes prevention. Now, I would put our diet, the one that I created called the Anti-Inflammatory Diet, that would be the one that would be the most balanced because you're going to get equal amounts of lean protein sources like chicken, fish, beef, and eggs, low glycemic carbs, fruits and vegetables, and then your healthy fats, almonds, walnuts, cashews, avocados. So all of these are beneficial and you're getting everything that you need. And guess what? When you're eating everything that you need 4, 5, 6 times a day, every 3 hours or so, you're stabilizing blood sugar. And when you stabilize blood sugar, you're setting your body up to win. And that's what this whole thing's all about. There's another one called the Mediterranean diet, which is very similar to what we teach, except for the grains. So it emphasizes eating fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean protein, and healthy fats like olive oil, nuts, and fatty fish. When the planning meals aim to stick to the Mediterranean diet guidelines of about 40% carbs, 30% protein, 30% fat is the better way to go. Now, the DASH diet is one that's been around in medicine forever, okay? So it's a big one, but it's portion control, low sodium, foods like fruits, veggies, and low-fat dairy products. So it's okay. I mean, that's just my opinion. I'm like, well, I mean, I want to mention it because it's in the evidence. I get it. A lot of docs will recommend it, and I respect that. That's cool. I'm just not into it. I like the anti-inflammatory diet. That's why I created it. That's why we use it, and we have an amazing success rate, especially with diabetes. Like, there's really never been anybody with diabetes that we haven't been able to help. And that's a pretty strong claim, but only if they didn't put in the work. So, like type 2 diabetes. Look, I was set up for that, meaning I had pre-diabetes. I talk about that in my book. So, I mean, I dealt with it myself, and I lifestyled my way out. You can do it. It's not hard, but you have to be disciplined, and you got to have a good strategy and a good game plan. That's what it's all about. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Give us a call or go to the website. Go to asarx.com. Now, one thing I want to get over and go through with you is the mere fact that you can win. So we all have potential. And I really want to encourage you that if you can look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what, I'm living my potential. I am hitting every stride that I can hit. I am uncovering every corner that I can uncover. And I am doing everything that I can do to live well and be amazing. Okay, that's not the case. But if you can say that, that's great. So on this show, we want to help you. This is what we're all about. We're all about helping you reach and live your potential. And if you're not, it's okay. But remember, your health is the vehicle to get you there. And that's what we want to see on this show. Now, coming up, I've got more calls. I see you waiting there, so hang tight. We're going to get right to you. Send me an email. Go to asarx.com. Shoot me an email. I'll make it part of the show. We can answer in private. We'll be right back. Did you know that you can listen to the Asa RX audio experience on Spotify and Pandora? For all the ways to watch and listen, check out our show page at asarx.com/experience.
Connect with On Call Radio and watch On Call TV at InShapeNetwork.com.
Triple 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Welcome back to the show. So glad to have you with us. Donna Edwards, who is a congresswoman or former congresswoman with MS, is starting to speak up about insurance and how it needs to be something that we all need and affordable. She's 59 and was the first African-American woman elected to represent Maryland for Congress. She served 5 terms as U.S. representative. Super impressive. And she really, the rigors of a hard-fought campaign, she took some well-deserved downtime. And one morning while she was out for a run on the beach in the Outer Banks of North Carolina, man, I love it there. It is beautiful. Her right leg gave out. Edwards immediately called her doctor because she recovered quickly without any symptoms. They both decided the cause must have been a pinched nerve or some kind of athletic injury. But nonetheless, she went to be checked out after returning home from the beach. Edwards was very tired, but she had plenty of reasons to be, and all of her diagnostic tests were normal. However, a week later, while on a 10-mile bike ride, she fell off her bike and sprained her ankle. She returned to the doctor, and the two decided more tests and consultation with a neurologist. And then she learned she had multiple sclerosis. So that's a big shock. I'm just telling you her story because it's a lot of people's story. So after the initial shock, and this is why MS is such a big deal, she put her nose to the grindstone and read everything she could about MS from credible sources. And she said, I just wanted to know what I could do. And she studied with a neurologist and worked with a neurologist at Johns Hopkins University and told her that you might have MS for 10 years without even knowing it. It's not that uncommon not to be diagnosed, especially in the early stages of relapsing or remitting MS. The symptoms might be infrequent. So she's the proud mother of an adult son. Edwards has always been very healthy, she says, and realizes that she simply may not have connected some of the incidents to the MS. But what's interesting about this, her diagnosis required her to make some simple changes. I want to talk to you about what that is, okay? Which is really interesting because I think it can play a role for anyone. So she had to drop wearing heels. She had to start exercising more. She's still riding her bicycle, although not a skinny tire road bike, but nearly 100 miles a week. She's still riding more of a mountain bike, which has a wider tire, which I think is super impressive, by the way. She rides indoors at the gym when the weather's bad and still does strength training, but she had to forego her position as catcher for the Congressional Women's Softball team. So think about that. And she says that as she's walking through this process, even though her term has ended, she wrote with the Washington Post, to my colleagues in Congress, I have MS, don't make my insurance unaffordable. And so she's kind of been on a campaign with that. But now, of course, we have options. And I think what's interesting about this story is that everyone has a different story. And MS can show itself in a multitude of ways. The symptoms can be really, really challenging. And if you have things that are weird going on, like you just fall for no reason, or you get injured and you shouldn't have been injured, you're wondering, like, why did that happen? If these kind of things are happening, then you need to figure out, you need to get a consultation. So, like, get with your doctor. The biggest thing is when anything is going on that's weird in your body, you want to get consult with your doctor, always, because the tests don't lie. That's why I'm a huge fan of testing. And just like she's talking about here, she was trucking along doing great, and then all of a sudden had this diagnosis. So it's not anything that's bad. It's just, it's a thing. It's a challenge, right? I look at everything in life as a challenge. What do you have to walk through? What do you have to go through? What do you have to figure out to really see where the next phase of your life is? And for her, she had a battle in front of her, and she's walking through it gracefully, and she's making strides and making changes to do everything she can to be focused and give herself the best chance to walk through it. So I applaud her for it. MS is no joke, but she's coming through it, and she's actually being an advocate for it to be an encouragement to others, which is powerful. 888-283-7272. Let's get on the phones and go to Alonzo. Hi, Alonzo.
Got a question about like a men's performance, little tablets and things that you see at the health food store. And I was wondering if there's any side effects to those, or if those are just a scam.
They have some benefits. I mean, it just depends on the brand and the ingredients. I mean, there's proven herbal support like Tribulus terrestris, maca root. There's horny goat weed, which I know sounds funny, but it really is. It's been used for a long time. And even deer antler's been a little controversial, but there are some benefits to these and what they do with blood flow and how they trigger testosterone. There's a component called luteinizing hormone that they work with. And I mean, we know that they work. But a lot of times with men's performance, it comes down more psychologically than it is anything else. I mean, there are definitely indicators that where erectile dysfunction can be an issue, right? And if it really is not psychological and it really is physical, then it's the pre-stages to potential heart disease, because you're talking about vascular issues now with blood flow, and that's usually the first indicator when that starts to to be an issue, that there's other issues going on in your cardiovascular system. So I would get checked out and have your doctor do some research, do some testing to make sure that it's not, because you could be under a lot of stress if you're single or if you're dating, if you've had a bad relationship with your partner and it's been challenging, whatever you deal with, okay? Like, you can overcome it. If it's mental, it's one thing. If it's physical, it's another. So you got to break that down, because if it's psychological and mental and you're taking a bunch of pills and trying supplements, of course that's not going to work, because the root cause is more mental than anything. If you need to repair a communication in a relationship, I mean, sometimes that's all it takes. So there's a multitude of ways. So I would encourage you to get checked and go through some of the tests. That's really important, because it's not just, don't just go get some pills at a gas station and hope for the best. Like, that's not that. No, I don't recommend that at all. All right. But let me know how it goes. Keep us posted. Puts another hour in the charts. I want to thank our producers, Derek Allen, Mr. Fig, and our chief engineer, John Garrison. Go tell one person something you learned on the show. Together, we can transform the health of our friends, our families, and our communities. You're listening to the show that helps you live your potential.
Did you know you could listen to the ASA RX audio experience on Spotify and Pandora? For all the ways to watch and listen, check out our show page at asarx.com/experience.
Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to asarx.com and get your free book today.
This episode is over, but check episode notes for links to products and services you've heard about on this episode. Thanks for listening and subscribing. Please share the ASA RX audio experience with others and stay in touch by giving us your comment or review.